There is only one of you, only one of me. There's a million of those who won't let us be. But they're not gonna see me bleed. Cause baby, I got you. I've been beaten to the ground, dragged across the dirt. I've been scared to live cause some people never learn. But they're not gonna watch me burn. Cause baby, I got you. It's a new beginnings and a better life. It's the dancing underneath the disco lights. They can try but they can never take me down. Ooh, cause I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. They always bring all the lonely, but with you here nothing can scare me. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I will tell them what I'm feeling forevermore. I don't care about the feelings, not anymore. So let's show them that love is pure, no matter who it's for. It's a new beginnings and a better life. It's the dancing underneath the disco lights. They can try but they can never take me down. Cause I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to
Hey, it's Jappy's Crypto again for episode 13 of my trading journals. It's the session for the 5th and 6th of August. It is Australia. I'm coming from Australia, live streaming here, and it's the 6th of August, Australian time, 8:48 in the morning. And I'll just turn off a couple of these screens so we get into the review. So I'll just turn the music down a little bit. There you go. So welcome back. If you're watching my journey, the whole point of these videos is to review my trading sessions rather than doing a written journal. I've got the, I suppose, flexibility and enjoy doing live streams and videos. So this is my way of recording my learnings. So the people also that are new to my stream, here's my goals of the whole process. So at the moment, I'm trying to save up $10,000 so I can get in with a $10,000 initial balance to trade with real money. I've personally been trading for about 18 months. I'm definitely not consistently profitable. So I really, probably 5 months ago now, I went and found the ICT Mentorship Series 2022 on YouTube. Lucky to find it as he just started to do his streams, and I watched all through of them once. I'm going back and rewatching all those at the moment, and my other goal at the moment is to double my demo account. Once I've doubled my demo account and I've achieved those other two goals, my plan is to get back into the market with real live money. So I took a bit of a break from real money trading after I'd been losing quite a bit, and or not heaps, but I'd definitely been losing, and I thought I'd need to sort of reconfigure and reassess and get back into it properly. So they're my goals. And this is a video of my session for last night. So not a bad session, actually. I should say that another way. Probably one of my best sessions yet, just in regards to success of my trades. Yeah, so I'll go into that now. So you'll see here, this is the Tradeovate, which is my trading platform that I use. And this is a report of the session last night. So I just put a filter on showing the trades. These are Australian times. This is trading the New York market open for people who are not sure. So this is for when I do my filter. I just do from yesterday through till today, and I set the time, just some time before the market opens. So in Australia time, the market opens 10:30 p.m. at the moment with our current daylight savings, and that's why the filter is set like that. And as you look down, it's so good to see a beautiful green day only. So 100% winning trades last night. Took a total of 4 trades. It's actually two proper trades with, and you'll see that in a minute. And this is my profit and loss for the night. So that's a net profit and loss of $696.40. Once again, just remembering that this is a demo account. Cool thing with Tradeovate, when you use their demo account, is that when you're doing your demo account, they actually include your commission. So this is as close as you're going to get to trading with real money. I really like the product and the platform. It's great, and the thing, and you can use it totally exclusive. You don't need to use any other charting software if you want to. For me personally, though, I actually use TradingView for my charting, and I also place my trades through TradingView. So that's how I set up. So last night when the market opened, really interesting thing happened. I was just sitting here watching the market. At the end of my last review video, I just went through and showed how I set up my setup before I get started into my trading for the next session. And interestingly enough, just right bang on 8:30, which is when a lot of news is released in the financial markets, we saw this massive dump. So I just stayed out. I just watched to see what happens. It's really one of those moments you go, oh, I should have grabbed that. It is what it is. I'm trying to control my emotions here, and I just read a really good tweet this morning and said trading's not just about technical. It's 10 or 20% technical, 30-40% risk management, and the rest of it's actually manage your emotions, which I 100% concur with. So market bombed, massive drop. Consolidated a little bit, bombed again, and then it started to recover. So these are the trades I took. Why did this happen? So when you have movements like this is on the 1 minute chart, mind you. When you have movements like this, you have to look at, there's usually a reason behind this. And from my understanding and all the things that I've learned and watched, you'll often see that the people behind, or the big players behind the market, tend to use news events to do what they want to do with the market. So depends whether or not you believe in that or not, but interestingly enough, this is forexfactory.com. It's one of the websites that Michael at ICT suggests that traders use to find the latest news. There's plenty of these type of sites, but this one's a good one particularly. And this just shows the news for today. I've gone through and just changed some of the settings, but ultimately just shows you all the things coming up that may affect the market, and you can go day by day. And today, what's happened today? So anything with a marked with a red, it's got a higher possibility or potential to affect the market. And so this is suggesting that those two pieces of news there will affect the Canadian dollar. These four pieces of news may affect the US dollar. So what when you actually, on this side as well, when you come along to this little part here, you can actually look at the actual detail of the news item and get a bit more details. So for me, this information, I'm still trying to understand what it all means, but it's actually really good because for instance, I've heard this non-farm employment change a lot. I didn't really know what it meant. When you click on that little icon, it gives you a bit of a description of what it actually means, which is really good to know. So it just, as a summary, it's a change in the number of employed people during the previous month, excluding the farming industry. So that's all it means. That's what non-farm means. It means they've excluded people that work in the farming industry. And the other good thing about this, it also suggests, it gives you a bit of idea here of if the actual is greater than the forecast, it's typically good for currency. That's the usual effect. So if you're not sure on how these things, this just gives you a little indication of, okay, well, if the actual results are better than what the market's forecasting, that's possibly a good thing. So what actually happened last night? Well, the actual results for the non-farm employment change, well, there was actually 528,000 people. Looks like they're added to the market where it became employed in the last period and in the last month, and the forecast was only 250,000. So it was a net increase of 398,000. So that in theory is a good thing for the Forex market. And what impact did it have on the actual forecast, or on the markets themselves? Well, in the indices, it took a dump. Why? Who knows? But it's just good to keep an eye on the correlation. I'm not an economist by any stretch of the means, but it's really interesting to see when these things happen and then the impact it has on the markets. And as we're learning, it's good just to pay attention. The other couple of things here was the employment rate or unemployment rate. The actual forecast was 3.6%. The actual was 3.5%, so pretty close to the expectation. So that was the big news event. Now, what does Michael on ICT suggest that we trade, or if you're trading the indices, look at trading when the New York opens because of this time. this is when this type of news is released, which then has an impact on the market generally. Sometimes, if you want to be cynical, you'd say a lot of people I know may already know some of these data, and they've already made a plan in regards to what they're expecting to do. And I would suggest that's exactly what happened in this session. Market dumps as soon as market opened, and boom, here we go. So what did I do? Well, I just sat on the sidelines and I just waited and watched and waited for a setup. So I'd actually marked off these two areas as that's the high and the low of the 15-minute range before the market opened. This green line at the top here is the price at midnight. So, those are a couple of points of interest. If I zoom out a little bit, you'll actually see I've marked off a couple of other zones on my chart. And these were just points of interest to see if the price drew to these. Also remembering that this is a Friday, so Friday and it has particular characteristics typically, but on here, so this is a fair value gap on a higher time frame, and this is another fair value gap on a higher time frame. So if price moved in either one of these directions, I'm expecting it to draw to these levels. That's kind of what my expectation was. So what I did, and as I said, this is probably the best trading session I've had so far in regards to just meeting all the criteria of my trading and based on what I'm trying to learn with ICT. However, the price came down on the 1 minute. I was watching closely. I do start on the 15, and when it breaks a particular area, I then zoom down to the lower time frames to try and pick up an entry. So price was coming down. It sort of looked like it hit a bit of a bottom and it was hitting resistance. I marked that off as a. I think I actually matched that up to a previous. Let's have a quick look. Let's go up to a 15-minute chart for a second. And what was that line marking? That line for me, I'd marked out was actually the bottom of this little. Interestingly, we see these couple of bars here stopped at that point. So that was just an interesting point of interest for me. So I did mark that out. And if we go back to the 1 minute, it's really interesting to note that price actually reacted at the level. So what I was looking for, I was waiting for price to hit a bit of a bottom ultimately, and then wait for a market structure break or market structure shift, thinking that we've had this news impact has had its event impact on price, so the markets react to that news, stabilized a bit, and then expectation the price might do this, and then where is it going to go from there? Who knows? So there you go. That was what I was hoping to wait to see what happened. Sure enough, price hit a bit of a bottom. We had a nice market structure break. So what does that actually mean? Well, if I draw a line here, so if you look at the price here, we've got this, it forms a little short-term high, drops down again, and then it has this nice big push up. That the candle is a really important candle. So that actually made me feel quite confident that there's possibly a trade setup coming. So draw a little line across here, and that's an indication for me that what we want to wait for now is with price to drop back into this fair value gap, which formed just here. And it 100% did. Look at this. It only took literally 1 minute candle, and then the very next candle, we've got our entry. So I bought 3 contracts, assuming the price is going to move up, because we've got a bit of a reversal going on here. And I identified this first fair value gap as a possible area for a target for taking some profits, and it hit that with fairly quickly. So I took out 2 of the contracts. I left 1 in the market. So I had locked in $174 profit there. The nice thing about this trade as well is that there and that there meant I wasn't risking a massive amount. So if the price had turned away from me, and I was still probably going to look at dumping about $150 odd on the stop loss. However, it just, the indications look real strong here. So price break-even broke through this area, and it kept moving up to this fair value gap. Really happy with that. At that point, I actually moved my stop up above my entry, and I also then I looked back over here and saw this sort of grouping of price and this movement up and down. I said, you know what, let's just take it out. I'm not overly confident this thing's going to keep on moving because we've had such a big movement down, and I took the rest of the trade out. So I closed out the total position at that point, and I locked in another $118 on that last contract. I had this moment at that point when I was trading and said, look, I've locked in some profit. I've had a couple of tough days this past week with my trading. Maybe I'll just close the charts and that'll do. So I was just sitting there watching, thinking what to do, and just didn't want to overdo it. But then I decided, you know what, let's go to a slightly higher time frame and just see what the price action is going to do on a slightly higher time frame. So I went back up to the 3 minute, and I saw this really nice little setup here. So it's pretty, it's just almost textbook from my understanding anyway. So we've got this market, so this is on the 3 minute. We've got this market structure break up here. It's closed out this fair value gap. Price is coming up here. It's come back down, and we've got this nice big fair value gap on the 3 minute. And I just said to myself, you know what? If we come back down to here, it's probably going to be a really good point to make an entry. So I took another entry there. Now I had to make a decision around what's my target going to be. So I've taken my entry. I jumped back down now onto my 1 minute chart, and I had to identify where I was going to planning to take profit or where my stop loss needed to be. This time the stop loss was a bit tougher to place because we're still ultimately within this bottom part of this. So I still placed my stop loss down the bottom here. So my stop loss was down here, and because I was a bit tentative, I've been a bit gun shy, I only took 2 contracts on this trade. And that was actually entry, which actually ended up here on the 1 minute, but on the 3 minute, that's where I took my entry because of that fair value gap. And talk about precision trading, as ICT talks about all the time. Super precise entry there, and price started to move. Now, firstly, my target was going to be this. What I actually did is I used the fib tool, and I measured the total range. So measured from the top to bottom of this range we're trading within. And if you look at where the if you look at where the 0.5 is on the fib, which is essentially just halfway between this range. So at the 0.5, if you draw that out, you'll notice that's exactly where I took my first take profit. So I set my first one there. That was my first one. So super stoked that happened. Another $156 locked in, and it happened reasonably quickly. So I was only in that particular trade for about 15 minutes or so. And then I still had 1 contract in. And from experience now of doing this for a few weeks on this style of trading, I'm not seeing it happen very often, for me anyway, that price will actually come up here and take out this full range. So I was a bit gun shy about letting this run all the way. I don't like giving away profits if I'm in profit. So what I did is I also decided to do this. So I've already taken one out. I've moved my stop at that point just above my entry. So my stop's here. So even if it turns against me, I'm not giving anyone any money. But what I did do then is if I took my fib tool, I set the fib between this fair value gap here on this massive dump. So marked it at the base of the previous candle and the top of the next candle after that, which is the range within that fair value gap. And I made note of the 50 or 0.5 level. And as you see, if you draw across here, that's pretty much, and I placed my limit, stop limit just above, or limit sell just below that 0.5 area. And interestingly enough, this also happened to be the base of the trading range before market opened. So we had 2 correlating factors here. We've got the 0.5 of that fair value gap as well as the base of the previous range. My trade closed out at that point because the limit order had set. And this is just amazing to observe the price action. It came up to the bottom of that range, hung out here for a bit, and then retraced back down. So you could have actually placed your limit order right at that level to squeeze a little bit more money out. But one of the things that Mike talks about on his trading mentorship series is to focus on the meat in the middle. Don't worry about trying to get the peaks or the extreme ends of the market. If you can just grab this chunk in the middle of this nice little range here, you're locking away some nice little profits. So super happy with that. That results from my trading overnight. That's a nice little addition to the trading account. In my demo account, remembering, I'll just go out of this and I'll just show you that my current balance is $15,055. We're almost halfway to the goal there, and we're only roughly 3 weeks into this whole process. So doing really well. I'll do another video over the weekend, which is just a review of this past week, and just give an update around on my goals. However, super happy with that. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to stop talking. I'm going to turn some music on. I'm just going to clear off my charts and set up for next week and just identify some goals, etc. on the charts with what I'm going to do on drawing on Training View. So no more talking from me. I'll just, as I said, I'll set up the charts, play a bit of music, and I'll talk to you all a bit later in my weekly review when it happens. Talk soon.
Hi, let's go.
Alright, let's take a look at our weather forecast today.
Today's forecast, a lot of sunshine, blue skies, marine clouds. Just a perfect day to go outside and relax. That's your forecast. We'll be right back.
Yeah, sunny days, sunny days, sunny days. No clouds in the sky, about to get away. Feels like it's been a freaking decade. Sorry, don't call me cause I'm gonna be on break. Sunny day, make way. All the stress and doubt, yeah, not today. Feels like it's been a freaking decade. Sorry, don't call me cause I'm gonna be on break. Got the Tropicana, fresh cut sushi on a platter. Brandy, honey, it don't matter, shots till I drop. Gonna be 24/7, golden hour like a boss. And they say, yo, guess you got a 2 o'clock appointment for a champagne shot, whoa, yeah. I'm busy trying to take it higher. Got no time for never, only spending cheddar. Wish I could do this forever. Chilling with the hottest company. They all wanna welcome me to their private penthouse suite. Yeah, now I got the key. Rooftop pool, got a heli on speed. Ocean view from the highest peak. I'm complete, oh, I want this to stay. Please don't go away. Yeah. Sunny days, sunny days, sunny days. No clouds in the sky, about to get away. Feels like it's been a freaking decade. Sorry, don't call me cause I'm gonna be on break. Sunny day, make way. All the stress and doubt, yeah, not today. Feels like it's been a freaking decade. Sorry, don't call me cause I'm gonna be on break.
반짝이는 waves 향긋한 가을 향해 갈게 Feeling up 어제의 나뿐일 때 태양이 너야 이 순간을 느껴 꿈이 아니니까
Dollars on a dolly with my homies, eco-friendly. Here we invite only positivity to this party. Don't want no drama with any back karma. Got a lot of that in La Vida Loca. Just wanna let it all go. Yeah, I can't say no when I'm this free. Don't wanna go home, oh I can't sleep. Weather's so nice, only got good vibes. Yeah, we here chillin', chillin' in paradise. Sunny days, sunny days. No clouds in the sky, about to get away. Feels like it's been a freaking decade. Sorry, don't call me cause I'm gonna be on break. Sunny day, make way. All the stress and doubt, yeah, not today. Feels like it's been a freaking decade. Sorry, don't call me cause I'm gonna be on break. Sunny days, sunny days, sunny days. No clouds in the sky, about to get away. Feels like it's been a freaking decade. Sorry, don't call me cause I'm gonna be on break. Sunny day, make way. All the stress and doubt, yeah, not today. Feels like it's been a freaking decade. Sorry, don't call me cause I'm gonna be on break.
There is only one of you, only one of me. There's a million of those who won't let us be. But they're not gonna see me bleed. Cause baby, I got you. I've been beaten to the ground, dragged across the dirt. I've been scared to live cause some people never learn. But they're not gonna watch me burn. Cause baby, I got you. It's a new beginnings and a better life. It's the dancing underneath the disco lights. They can try but they can never take me down. Ooh, cause I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. They always pray all the lonely, but with you here nothing can scare me. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I will tell the one